To Be Fair, a podcast hosted by Aaron Jordan Peterson. And I think we just started recording, so I'm going to say that one more time. Thank you for tuning back into To Be Fair, a podcast hosted by Aaron Jordan Peterson. And today's a very special episode, isn't it, Lisa?
Yay! Yes!
It is officially 1 year that we have been doing this podcast.
That's awesome.
Right? And you have been with me the whole time. I mean, I think with the exception of one episode that I started and a few episodes that you missed like last season, but they were kind of hit or miss last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying out different ways of doing this podcast. I was trying out different options. And I still think I learned a lot. I'm still learning. I think I don't know what listenership. I know we've got some listenership in the UK. We do. I know,
what?
Right? Yeah, we do.
We're international.
We
What?
are. We are. Like there's
That's
probably
super
like
cool.
there's probably like 2 people that listen to it somewhere in England or something. I know. But you know what? Whoever you are, we love you.
Yes, thank you. And when I say who cares, I meant like, who cares? That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't care where you are in the UK. We're just happy that you're in the UK listening to us.
Yes. Yes.
We have mostly US, obviously, is our audience. There's a few from some other countries as I've been tracking because we do this through Anchor. I started that last year. Last year, I was just like, at this time, I was just in this frustrated mode. I'm like, I really want to start a podcast. What do I have to do to start a podcast? I keep talking about doing this podcast. When am I going to do this podcast? And I Googled something and Anchor showed up and I was like, okay, all right, this is cool. And it helps you do it. Like all you have to do is record it essentially.
Right.
Because I don't do much editing to my podcast, sound or anything. And you are listening out for something.
Sorry.
That's okay.
At least I've learned how to use the mute button.
There's so much that happens in your life too. It's so interesting. In 1 year, what has changed for you, immensely. 1 year that has changed for both of us. And so let's just chat a little bit about what this year has been like for us. I mean, outside the podcast, but of course with it too.
Well, I'm super glad that you asked me to be a part of this because I have commitment issues, we could call it. And so being part of this without, being, like I always tell you, I'm a great sidekick. You do all the heavy lifting and I'm just there like, here I am to save, I'll do laundry, But this podcast has kept my sanity so much. And I'm so grateful for it. It's been a rough year. It's I have been challenged to the end of my rope, and I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning that I'm very short-tempered. I'm learning that I really don't have any time for bull crap anymore, relationship-wise.
Sure.
And I've also learned that I'm really uncomfortable being a stay-at-home mom, not bringing in any income.
Yeah.
So it's those lessons. I am working on changing some things in my life. So but this is always here. And I'm having a really bad day right now, but being here, I'm like got permagrin. This makes me happy. It makes me really happy.
It gives me something to look forward to for Sunday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we have this scheduled thing, and we like so far this year. I mean, we're already a month and a half into 2021, and we've been recording since the beginning, and we've literally stayed on schedule.
Yes.
So I think for me, it's matured me enough to actually commit to a schedule. I mean, with the first year, it was literally like, hey, I feel like recording tonight. How do you feel? Let's do it. Like 3 hours, 3 hours notice. We're just going to record. But that's how I work. I'm that person that when inspiration hits me, I got to go. I got to go with it. Like I can't put it down on paper and let's do this later. I'm like, if I'm feeling it, if I am slain in the Holy Spirit, I have to totally speak in tongues and let it just pass through me.
Can I get an amen?
Hallelujah. Um,
Hallelujah.
um, but yeah, so that's the same thing that happened with starting this podcast. Is literally like I was saying. I mean, I had been talking and talking. I mean, Mike and I bought these microphones. God, 3 years ago now, maybe two. Well, two. Yeah, it'll be 2 years in just about a month or so. Um, and uh, if it was, let's see. So yeah, we kept talking like, ooh, who's gonna do this and who's gonna do that. It was literally like we just couldn't commit to anything, like a schedule of times. I'm like, well, we're gonna do this. We actually have to do this. We can't keep talking about doing this. And so
Don't talk about it, be about it.
yeah, and so I gave it so long till I realized that I'm just gonna have to move forward myself,
Mhm.
and I'll invite people along. Like Mike was supposed to be part of our original thing, was supposed to be this whole thing, and it just didn't turn out.
Well,
But
he was a big part of the Panic Diaries, which was a lot of fun.
oh my God, I will get to that. Okay. So yeah, so we got to the point of I'm like, okay, I gotta stop talking about that. And that is usually my goal. My goal every year is to do something and stop talking about it because I have talked about a lot of things. I'll go around to people and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and it is gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. And it's like I can
Uh,
I can talk about what I'm gonna do all day long.
I
Like,
like how you talk about it. Like, oh my God, girl, it's going to be
girl.
amazing. You have no idea. Oh my
Well,
God.
okay, so I might over exaggerate how gay I sound when I'm saying it,
Well, I
but
know.
you get it.
I do.
So but I'm still I so now like last year the podcast was it. Now this year we're actually doing filming of it, and
Yeah.
I'm working on some vlogs, like to actually do some YouTube vlogs to because one thing that I like about this is that I'm a storyteller. I'm a life experiencer that wants to share my experiences with other people because it's what I do. I
Absolutely.
Everybody has a story to tell.
Mhm.
It depends on how people want to tell it, and some people tell it through song, some people tell it through dance. I happen to just freaking start talking about it. I I mean, I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but I'm not that witty. I mean, I don't think I'm not witty. Trust me, I have my moments, but I'm not to the point where I can like just spit out jokes left and right and get them to make sense on a stage in front of people. I want to be that person, and that's still one of those things I'm working on. But uh, I can usually be just weird. I'm
Oh,
good
I'm
at being
totally
weird,
weird. Yeah,
but
I
it's
get that.
how do you make that fun? And it's like, because sometimes I was the weird kid in school that was like the weird kid because I was weird instead of being, oh my God, that guy is totally weird, we want to hang out with that guy. I could have been that person, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I was too shy, I was too scared, I was too worried because people were terrible and people still are terrible.
Yeah.
But now I can just come onto a podcast and talk about how terrible they really are.
And how
And
fabulous you are. And how
well,
weird you are.
here's what I want to say is that it's like it's easy. It's also nice to be able to talk about how I am a terrible person sometimes too.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, everybody is at some
Yeah,
point.
but it's like we don't all want to hold ourselves accountable to that.
New.
And I have this pride in myself to want to make sure that I am honest and accountable to my behaviors. Oh my God, everyone that's going to be watching is just going to watch me wiping sweat off my face.
You need a
Like,
kerchief.
oh my God. There's a bra.
Yes. That makes me happier than it should.
It's not really a bra. But
Sad.
yeah.
If it was a sports bra, it would be kind of ironic.
No.
No. I would love to do stand-up comedy also, but I get really bad performance anxiety, and I don't think I could tell the same jokes consistently.
I know. That's what I was just trying
How
to
do you
say.
how do you remember how to be funny, like about the
Well,
same stuff?
I
Like I
mean,
can't do that.
most stand-up comedians, they write their jokes in a script format where the stories just kind of are good at segueing into each other.
Yeah.
It's an art form in itself to do, and I can't master that one yet. It's not really on my list of ones that I'm ready to get that achievement award. I
Yeah.
haven't leveled up there yet.
You'll get
Um,
there.
but I like that I can come here and be my real self on this podcast, and I'm not afraid to put it out there.
Yes.
Um,
That's one of the best things about it, honestly.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie though, I was pretty nervous about it being on video because, like, I make some really stupid faces sometimes when I'm
that's what I.
talking, and
Oh,
I'm
but
like,
that's what I like the best is like it's only more fair for our listeners to be able to see how we react.
right,
But
right.
with how this records is unfortunately right now it's only showing me on screen. It'll only when the recording will only show the person who's talking it through
Oh, right.
Google. Yeah, so through Google Meet it only does that. And so I'm probably on screen a lot because I never shut up.
Well, I don't know. I give you a run for your money because I'm not afraid to cut you off.
I know. Do you know that's my other problem is, but sometimes when I have guests, I'm afraid to cut my guests off. Like, I'm supposed to lead my show, right? But like,
Yes.
I don't want to be that rude person that, like, if somebody's listening to the podcast and hears me cut off a guest when they want to hear what that guest is saying, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, what if I'm that douche? Like, I've had some guests on here that sometimes like to talk more than me.
Well, we had a lesson a few weeks ago with that.
Not only that, but Mike has done it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, I can see that. He's once he gets rolling,
Yeah,
but
and
I'm
that's
the same
okay.
way.
That's okay, but that's why I really think Mike would be really good to have his own podcast too.
Mhm.
And I remember how you joined my podcast as a guest host last year, and it was in kind of hopes that you might start your own podcast.
Yeah, but there's that whole commitment problem.
Yeah, so that's why I just promoted you to co-host for Let's Show Now.
Honestly, it didn't take a whole lot of promoting me.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like, do you want to do this? And then you
you're
kept calling me your co-host. So
I
I
did.
got all like in my feels, and I'm like, oh,
Well, I mean, yeah,
oh.
you've always been the co-host, but I figured we'd start season 2 off with actually making it official. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if you're not on an episode, we're gonna explain why we have like a guest co-host or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're like Kelly and Ryan.
Actually, that's so funny that you say that because doing the live shows that we do on Facebook, and potentially moving to Twitch somewhere down the road, we the person that helps me manage that, she was like, when I had a guest on the other day, she said, "Hey, nothing wrong with having another guest on, but you have to have Lisa."
Aw,
Yeah, I was like, "Oh,
yay.
yeah." It's just really we banter well together.
Well, we do. And it's really flattering.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you, whoever you are. I needed that today because Valentine's Day is full of hot garbage in my life.
Oh my God. And yeah, we are recording. It is Valentine's Day for the listeners to know that.
Yeah.
Today I am spending it with the person I love, my podcast, and myself.
Oh, snap. Here I was all like, oh, he loves me. Oh, wah, wah.
Well, yes, I do. But like, I mean, my podcast is my baby.
I know. I
Um,
know.
but yeah.
My sister brought me a dozen roses today.
Oh my God, your sister's so sweet.
I love her. It's because I'm
My
having a really bad day, and she's like, I know your day sucks, so here's a vanilla latte, a dozen roses, and some chocolate.
my siblings do not treat me with that kind of respect.
I didn't know mine did. No, actually, that's not true. My sister's my best friend. I love her.
Yeah.
And she's due May 31st.
Oh my God, that's right. You're gonna be an auntie again.
Yes. Anyways, I digress.
So yeah, so then as we started this podcast, okay, so I started that one night just by myself. I started speaking out about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna come across very well by myself, like in telling my
Yeah.
stories. So that's why I was like, we started chatting. I think I was just like, oh my god, I started a podcast, and I'm like, hey, why don't you be on it? And we did that night, and
Yeah.
then here we are. Here we are. Like
And a
it's
beautiful love baby podcast or something.
we
I don't.
we never did to actually expect that we were going to be going into a pandemic. But I kept thinking that as we were in the pandemic and we were recording the Panic Day Diaries, because that's how all of a sudden I'm like, let's just, okay, I'm out of work. Lisa's not working. Mike's down at school, isolated. Let's start doing the Panic Day Diaries. And so we just did like hour-long episodes. Every day we would just
I
chat, catch
know.
up, and oh my god, we're gonna have to re-listen to those like
I don't
episodes.
even want to.
Wouldn't it be fun to relive them though? Like just like
Yeah. And
like
realize how long-winded we really were back then.
back then.
Well, I was trying to be. I don't know what I was trying to be. But
You're
I mean, some
trying.
of our
Were,
Panic Day Diary episodes were
were
2 hours
you?
long.
Wait. Were you trying to be fair?
I was
Um.
as
Yes.
creepily as possible.
So it's yeah. So it's nice that we started this, and the Panic Diaries really kind of helped us really get our movement moving. Like I think we did it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
2 solid weeks. It was like 13 days.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, we literally have nothing new to talk about.
I know. I know. It's like the update would have just been like, yeah, so it's like 2 weeks into the quarantine. Nobody's following any of the procedures. Well, and I think we stopped at 2 weeks because we thought it was going to start to come to an end, and it didn't.
Yeah,
It was like it went from 2 weeks to like 3 months.
yeah, and here we are today.
Yeah. And now it's like, I mean, I feel like we still have stay at home orders. I like they're not orders and there's no mandate, but I feel like there's still this common courtesy thing where it's like, really don't go anywhere that you don't need to go.
It's like an
Don't,
unspoken
yeah.
thing. I
Yep.
got so mad today. Oh my gosh, I was at Walmart and there was some redneck walking around with no mask. Ugh. I almost carried him. Almost. He
You know?
almost got a piece of my mind. But then I'm like, what's the point? It's not going to change him and it's not going to make me feel any better. I just have to accept the fact that that's how he lives his life and move
Yes.
on. So,
So I want that's really good advice. I like that, and I actually want to share a little piece of something outside of the podcast that I learned about myself and about in general. That maybe I might have been behind on other people. Everyone else could be like, "Oh, I learned that in the fifth grade," but for me, it's like, um,
sorry.
no, for me, it's the okay. So 2020 was a very challenging year for socially, politically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare of a year. I mean, we went, we have um uh, sickness going around. We have a race war that has just begun. Everyone hates everyone. Like it's pretty much just like we're here. Like where's the Antichrist at this point? Can you
I was
just
going to say, it's like end of times, like the
yeah,
rapture.
like that's how 2020 really just felt, and I was just like waiting for more and more to keep going. And um for I am a really big person that I'm argumentative. I
Oh, yeah, me too.
I'm very easily triggered, and I'm very much one of those people that's like, this person, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, I've got to change their mind. I am going to go in with this total, um, unarguable like piece of information that clearly they're going to just be like, oh yeah, you're right, Aaron. We are totally wrong, and you are completely right. I mean, that's how you dive in. Is that not how sometimes you feel when you're going in for that attack and that comment under somebody's um, post that is their opinion?
Yeah.
Has You can engage or not engage. You choose to engage. So what is your plan when you go in to engage? What is the outcome you're hoping for? Generally, the outcome would be that you're hoping that you're going to change their mind.
Mhm.
Like that is, I
Yep.
mean, like when people are like, "Well, I'm not trying to change your mind." I'm like, "Then why are you saying it?"
Yes, it's actually you are. You're just not doing it in very like you're doing it very loudly.
Yeah. So it's like, why are you saying it? So when you go in for that comment and you choose to engage into a discussion with somebody on a Facebook thread, mind you, emotion cannot channel through the keyboard. So when you
Oh.
type something, you um, you have to just hope that they get your emotion.
Yeah, you just when you type it out, you leave it in their hands to perceive it the way that you wanted to let them perceive it.
Yeah,
Because and that's that's why I hate arguments over text messages, not just Facebook. Like I stopped doing like the whole getting into deep conversations on Facebook because same thing. Like it took me a long time to realize that I was trying to get people to see my point of view.
yep,
I'm right, you're wrong, or
yeah,
you're not necessarily wrong, but my answer's way better than yours.
correct. Like, I mean, literally, what are you trying to accomplish? So
Mhm.
I started to think about that a lot. And not that it has stopped me from engaging in a lot, because I've gotten into a lot more Facebook arguments than I care to admit. But and I've said nasty things, but I don't know if they're completely like nasty to the point where it's like uh, um not, I don't know how to say it.
Not unforgivable,
I don't know if it's
or
I don't know, but
well, did you get put in Facebook jail?
never.
Well, then it can't be that bad.
No, I mean, it's just like, I guess it's to the point where it's like, is it necessary to say? You know,
Yeah.
what is your plan to
Yeah.
accomplish?
What's the end game here?
Yeah. So so I started thinking about the lot. I'm like, do I want to spend a lot of energy into this dialogue or whatever? And if somebody else gets involved, do I want to um have to deal with that too? So I like, what am I really prepared to spend a lot of energy backing this up when somebody's going to call me names potentially or say mean things to me if I don't,
Right.
if their opinion is clearly more. So I'm like, at this point it's like, walk away, move on. And it doesn't always work. I get into it with people, but
It's hard
yeah,
because I've been programmed so long. I am so argumentative, but I've really steered myself away from social media arguments. I've
yeah.
tried really hard. Like I
Oh,
said, I have to realize that they we could look at the same exact thing and perceive them completely differently.
yeah,
And that's not to say it's right or wrong. It just is.
I've channeled a lot of my debates lately into like watching WandaVision, and then I go on to the forums and I'll chat with people and we'll get in debates about what potentially is going to be the outcome of WandaVision. And I'm like, this
Mhm.
is more healthy and more creative. Like, we're not
Yeah.
here to change each other's minds. It's just like, oh no, no, remember this part, like from the comics, we're going to try and do this. I'm like, oh my God, I put it into nerdy world because I
Yeah,
can,
it's collaborative.
yeah. But it's
Much
also,
yeah.
and it's also, you're not even arguing about anything that's real, so you really don't get it. I
Right.
mean, there are some people who will get into some hardcore arguments about if they're right or wrong on like something about
Right. Fanatics.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those fanatics are insane. But I love getting in conversations with people about the potential outcomes of what's going to
Mhm.
happen. Yeah, it's fun. Um, yeah. So it's been an interesting year, and I'm very excited for us. Like, we're here now, right in the beginning of season 2, and we're on
Yeah.
video. Um,
We're
and
growing.
yeah, but now we just need to have our audience grow some more. And
Hey,
so,
we're in the UK.
Yes, we are. So starting with our next episode after this, I just want to explain that part of our episodes will have called weekly diaries, where Lisa and I will each share a story about something interesting that happened during the week before we record. So something that'll happen this upcoming week, we'll have to kind of jot down as the story we want to share for this. And hopefully it would be fun or funny or really uplifting, but sometimes it might be a story we just need to share about something that bad that happened, and hopefully we can share our plan about what we're going to do to make it better.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, exciting. So until then, though, I think it's time for us to say goodbye, and
Auf
we
Wiedersehen.
and is that how we say it? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah. So and if you guys want to follow us and share and subscribe, put some things in the comments about different stories. Ask us questions. We love answering questions from people.
Absolutely. That's
So yeah,
super fun.
yeah, it'd be really fun to do that. So until then, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.